When do you plan on quitting since you've been doing it for a couple years?
Can
I quit when you quit?
Sure. I mean, I have a goal in my head, and I want to beat Sophie Rain's numbers. I'm pretty close. So, is there a competition? When I double her income, I'll quit. Because then I'll beat the best in the game. And then I'll beat the best, and then I'll retire, and then it's game over.
Does she know?
And then I'll let the rest of you guys have it.
But then I feel like there's going to be competition when she hears.
That's fine, like friendly competition, no?
She's going to be like, she's finna run it back up.
Then may the best girl win. Yo, doubling $80 million in a year.
Sickening.
I think I could make $100 million.
You could do it.
Yo, Sophie Rain, I'm coming for you, Miss Girl.
It's official. Sophie Rain has entered her Punisher arc. After her one-on-one with Bonnie Blue like it was a side quest, she's now aimed the bazooka straight at Camilla. Yes, that Camilla. The queen of sipping iced coffee while sneak dissing every woman who breathes near her spotlight. But here's the thing. Sophie and Camilla? They've never liked each other. Their friendship has always been that awkward sorority hug at the club. You know, that fake smile, tight grip, and whispers that sound a whole lot like threats. Passive-aggressive Instagram captions? Check. Coincidentally matching podcast topics? Double check. Pretending it's all love while plotting each other's downfall from the VIP section? Triple platinum. And now, they're finally done pretending. Whether this is another Oscar-worthy PR stunt or an actual ego clash, only God, and maybe their PR managers, knows. But what we do know is that this is just one clown calling out another clown for juggling the wrong way. Sophie's mocking Camilla. Camilla's jealous of Sophie. Meanwhile, the rest of us are watching two narcissists fight for the last brain cell like it's Coachella tickets. No matter who wins, we all lose. For living on the same planet as these creatures. Now, it all started with one clip. Sophie and Camilla were doing a podcast, still pretending to be friends, when someone asked Sophie how much she made from OnlyFriends. Sophie dodged it at first, reluctant, brushing it off, but Camilla, she wasn't having it. She kept pressing, then straight up grabbed Sophie's phone, scrolled through, found the number, and read it out loud for the world to hear. All while making the exact face you'd expect from someone realizing they're not the main character anymore. Then she says, I'm actually tearing up right now. That wasn't a joke. That was envy in HD. She didn't just expose Sophie's income, she exposed her own insecurity. Side note, yeah, we've talked about this before, but still, $4 million in a month? From OnlyFriends? Be serious. That's not just generational wealth, that's Bond villain money. Either she's counting in Monopoly bills, or there's some serious inflation in the Delulu to reality exchange rate. Because unless she's secretly running a shadow government or selling secrets in her DMs, that number is wild even by internet fantasy standards.
Sophie. So, you are aware that you're the final boss when it comes to OF, right?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm. And I know you saw the clip of Julia making $400,000 a month, so I just need to know how much are you making a month?
I don't know if I don't really want to hurt your feelings. I just don't
Hurt my feelings? What do you mean?
I don't want to say.
You don't have to say, just show me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. I actually kind of tearing up. $4 million? $4 million in a month?
Yeah.
And then here's what happened. Camilla hops on another podcast, because of course she did, and starts talking about retiring from OnlyFriends. Like it's a career in wealth management or some hedge fund gig with a pension plan. And then get this, she says she'll retire once she makes double what Sophie makes. Calls it friendly competition. Says she can easily hit 100 million. Ma'am, be so for real. What you call friendly competition, recall delusion. The only reason that number even floats is because the internet's overrun with men whose biggest personality trait is loneliness. If the world had just slightly fewer incels, you wouldn't be pulling $100 million. You wouldn't even pulling $100, and that's being generous.
When do you plan on quitting since you've been doing it for a couple years?
Can
I quit when you quit?
Sure. I mean, I have a goal in my head, and I want to beat Sophie Rain's numbers. I'm pretty close. So, is there a competition? When I double her income, I'll quit. Because then I'll beat the best in the game. And then I'll beat the best, and then I'll retire, and then it's game over.
Does she know?
And then I'll let the rest of you guys have it.
But then I feel like there's gonna be competition once she hears.
That's fine, like friendly competition, no?
She's gonna be like, she's finna run it back up.
Then may the best girl win. Yo, doubling $80 million in a year.
Sickening.
I think I can make 100 million.
You could do it.
Yo, Sophie Rain, I'm coming for you, Miss Girl. Who can be the first to make 100 million in a
We're
year?
hanging out with her tomorrow.
Now Sophie Rain decided to quote Camilla's retirement delusion with this line: "Start having your promote your again, and maybe you'll get there." Ooh! And don't get me wrong, I ain't no Sophie fan. If anything, I'm whatever the complete opposite of a Sophie fan is. But that, even I gotta admit, she talking head there. Because let's not forget, Camilla's entire brand was practically built on these weirdly uncomfortable "is it pink" clips with your brother. Like, her actual being used for thirst trap engagement. That's not just tone deaf, that's disturbing. Actually insane. Using your own little as bait to reel in a bunch of basement dwelling incels and turning that into a multi-million-dollar empire, that's not influencer marketing. That's moral bankruptcy with a monetization strategy. Like, forget OF at that point. You might as well just list emotional incest baiter on your LinkedIn, because if that's the content that's pulling in millions, the bar isn't just low, it's underground, decomposing next to what's left to basic human decency. Now, let's rewind to the Bonnie Blue beef real quick, because Sophie Rain's ego needed a workout apparently. She kicked it off by posting a screenshot of her absurd earnings and captioned it, $76 million without banging 1,000 men in a day. Like she just cured a disease instead of scamming dudes out of their rent money. Girl, you built your empire off the same men you're trying to shame. That's not confidence, that's narcissism actually that's a god complex. You can't be flexing your exploitative empire while throwing shade at others for doing the same thing slightly louder. It's like robbing a bank and then clowning the getaway driver for being too obvious. Let's not get it twisted though. Just because Sophie came out swinging doesn't mean Bonnie Blue's getting a redemption arc. If anything, she needs a full-blown planetary exorcism. So no, she doesn't just need to be banned off a platform, she needs to be banished off the grid. Preferably to a place with no Wi-Fi and no cameras. And just when this circus couldn't get any more embarrassing, Andrew Tate, the human version of a red flag starter pack, crawled out to his echo chamber to weigh in. Like clockwork, he injected himself into drama that had absolutely nothing to do with him and still managed to make it about himself. 1,000 tweets and I'll interview her to find out. Has been begging to talk to me for years. Bro thinks he's Oprah with a Bugatti.
Well, what color's your Bugatti?
Man's acting like he's about to conduct hard-hitting journalism when in reality, he's just trying to ride the algorithm like it owes him rent. Also, begging to talk to me for years is a wild thing to say when your entire brand is built off pretending you don't care about women while obsessively jumping into drama involving women every single time. At this point, it's like watching a bunch of people compete in a narcissism speed run, and Sophie just unlocked the Tate cameo for bonus XP. But coming back to Sophie Rain, she proceeds to play Mother Teresa with a ring light, talking about, "I don't agree with her stunts, but I'd never want her to be banned. I hope she redeems herself." Girl, you just dry sniped her career with a smile and a screenshot and now you're acting like you're on some forgiveness arc? That's like lighting someone's house on fire and then handing them a wet tissue. You can't throw shade, end a whole livelihood, then moonwalk into PR mode like you're doing charity. Ain't no redemption in your tone, just straight up corporate villain energy trying to act wholesome. This ain't benevolence, people, it's brand management and badly disguised at that. And finally, we're in a healing era. I hope one day she realizes the trauma she's causing herself and so many women. Ma'am, you run a glorified empire built on selling delusion and body dysmorphia in a bottle, and you want to talk about drama. That's rich. Probably not as rich as you, but it's rich. You're not protecting women. You're just mad when other women play the same game dirtier. You didn't rise above this system, you just monetized it better and slapped a pastel filter on top. So let's not pretend you're out here doing feminist outreach when your business model runs on insecurity and thirst. You're not warning anyone about trauma, you're just mad someone else is catching strays in your sandbox. Now, as you all know, it's that time to see what the internet had to say about the entire situation. You're causing just as much trauma to thousands of women who are trying to walk in your footsteps but will never make it. It's like watching someone throw a Molotov cocktail into a self-help seminar. Because yeah, what people don't realize is Sophie isn't just selling a fantasy, she's selling delusion. The idea that every girl with an iPhone camera and low self-worth can strike gold, when in reality she's the statistical outlier manipulating a system that's chewing through girls and spitting out regrets. You think you're any better than her? Y'all in the same trade! Imagine watching a crack and a it out in the parking lot because they both think they have the moral high ground. You're both peddling the same addiction just with different filters and follower accounts. Y'all basically, but since you're on and you think you're more classy than the ones on the street, the mental gymnastics is insane. Woman empowerment was just an excuse to do what y'all do without having to take accountability. That was a bigger than me. So, to sum it up, Sophie Rain flexed her $76 million earnings while shading women who she claims to represent, all while building a brand off male attention and emotional manipulation. Camilla and Sophie had beef. Sophie embarrassed herself trying to prove she's the most moral OF creator. Yeah, the irony is not dead on me. Just take that with a grain of sand. Then entered Andrew Tate, who saw a woman trending and couldn't resist inserting himself like it was an ego summons. In short, it's not empowerment, it's exploitation dressed in filters and follower accounts, and every single person involved is just playing different positions in the same collapsing pyramid scheme.